All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session of Up and Moving Yoga with Corey plus kitties. And you guys can see kind of Tony there right now. But so yeah, we'll be doing more of like a strength focused exercise. So should be fun. We'll get some good stretching in, and yeah, we'll just kind of see how today goes. It's kind of how I do every session. But I would recommend having something that helps like with your balance. So if you have the yoga blocks, a chair, a bench, side of your bed, a kitty tree. I don't know, got a kitty tree, but just something to kind of help you so we can play around with our warrior 3 poses again today. And so actually today we're going to start off in our child's pose. And so kind of having your legs hip width apart. I always make mine so my little toes, like my big toes are kissing. And I just kind of lean on over into a nice child's pose. And even with this, kind of some other ways to set up the pose. You can grab your yoga blocks or even a pillow. A pillow would be a nice one to like, if you need a little bit more extra support between the legs, you can also kind of sit on a block a little bit. A block's also good if you want to place your forehead down on if you can't get it all the way down to the floor. And I know my shoulders are kind of a little tight today, but I don't really need that today. Just kind of whatever's comfortable. Get into a comfortable child's pose so we can start grounding ourselves for today's practice, what we want to accomplish, being mindful and moving with intention, and really listening to our bodies during this practice. It is a more strength-focused practice. We'll be doing planks again today. Some balance stuff, but just in a nice, comfortable position. You can start stretching out one arm, leaning towards the left arm, kind of stretching that out a little bit. Lean towards the right a little bit more. Great. On an inhale, we'll raise it back up into a nice table position here. Our knees right underneath our hips, hands underneath our shoulders, and really kind of focus on trying to get that back as straight as you can. And so bringing that belly button in towards the spine, engaging the core. You could even be gazing down towards the top of your mat just a little bit, even getting that head in line. On an inhale, go ahead and we'll kind of drop the spine a little bit, lift the chest up, lift the head up. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round the spine, drop the head, drop the chest. Into cat. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the head. Into cow. And exhale, round that spine. Drop the head, drop the chest. Into cat. And we'll go between these even just a little bit more to start waking the body up, but even like play around with it. And so when I do these poses, even I think you guys have kind of seen lately that so inhale, I'll like round towards one side into cow. Exhale, go towards the other way. So I'm going towards the left now, finishing the circle into cat. And then I always think too, if I go towards one direction first and make a circle, I got to inhale into cow and go towards the other direction, so towards the left this time. And then exhale back into cat, making sure I'm keeping those, Now, since we're in cat, dropping the head, dropping the chest. But inhale, cow. And then sometimes I get a little, like I exaggerate when I'm trying to like round the spine. So I'm kind of going to drop my arms sometimes as I'm exhaling, dropping the head, dropping the chest into cow. Inhale. Inhale, cow. I think I said cow last time, but I meant cat. Exhale. Cat. So just kind of play around with these positions as we're going through. On an inhale, though, we can go back to our nice neutral table position here. And even kind of from here, we're going to curl our toes. Lift up into our first push-up position. Now, if you need to, you can always stay on the knees, but just to kind of wake the body up a little bit, engaging that core again. Then from here, if you're on your knees, feel free to just kind of go into our puppy position. That's always a good option. But we'll push up into our down dog here. Just slowly start to wake the body up, play around with getting your heels towards your mat, really pushing that upper body kind of towards your quads there. Having your hands in a nice comfortable position, whether they be pointed out a bit more. And kind of another thing I like to do in down dog to just start kind of waking my body up a little bit more is, and so if you're in the puppy position, feel free to try to come up to down dog as best as you can, but we ultimately just kind of even bend the knee so we're hovering over the ground a little bit. And I like to kind of move my body side to side a little bit, trying to wake up those hips. But of course, whatever's comfortable for you right now. You don't have to go as side to side intense as I do, but just something to kind of just wake up those hips a little bit. Waking up the body right now. I think that's what we're ultimately doing before going into our first kind of flows here. And even from right here in down dog again, we're just going to walk our feet towards the front of our mat. So we're in a nice forward fold, keeping a nice light bend in our knees too. We don't want to lock our knees. And on an inhale, we're going to rise up, reach towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive back down into a forward fold. Inhale, flat back, trying to keep that as flat as you can as we're half raising up. You can pretend like maybe a puppeteer is pulling a string through your head. And exhale back into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up towards the sky. Exhale again, swan dive forward. Inhale, half raise, flat back, hands kind of at a comfortable position too. Exhale, back into our forward fold. We'll go through this one more time here, but inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half raise. Exhale, back into forward fold, and even from right here, place your hands flat down, and we'll step back into a nice straight plank position again. And even from right here, just kind of remember, the knees is always a good option too if you need to go down onto your knees, but just making sure you're keeping your body nice and straight here. I know for especially us ladies, we tend to want to really drop that stomach, but really keep that engaged. And I sometimes try to really push it in like I'm doing like a cat position, but really get that butt kind of tucked in and tuck it up. But from right here, we're gonna just inhale, lower towards the ground, even lay straight on, but exhale, lift the chest up. And inhale, raise it back up either to puppy position or our down dog. But just flowing through our chaturanga a little bit. That is what that flow is. Play around, get some nice deep breaths, try to relax, even relax the head. But we're gonna go through that flow one more time again. So inhale, lower the body down onto your stomach. Exhale, lift the chest up into cobra, or I guess up dog actually is what this one is. And exhale, push back up into our down dog. All right, and from here, I'm gonna go with my left leg first, so I'm facing the camera. But we're gonna inhale and either step the foot between your hands or inhale, lift the leg up so you're in single leg dog. Exhale, step it through. And on our next inhale, we're just gonna drop that back knee and lift our body up, stacking our shoulders on top of our hips here and kind of like pushing forward with our hips a little bit, but we want to make sure that we're keeping them squared. And so kind of like your left hip, maybe push that one back just a little bit and then bring that right one kind of forward even a little bit also. Just trying to get whatever's comfortable for your body, of course. Preaching that during all of our stretches because it's important to listen and we don't want to overdo it. But to whatever's comfortable, just a nice kind of little bit of a forward movement here even too. Our arms up a little bit, and you can even just keep your arms here if you'd like. I kind of like to play around with it so I bring my hands together and I try to get my thumb to the back of my spine here, trying to keep my elbows in towards my head a little bit, but I even try to lean my back just a little bit more. I'm kind of trying to work on my back bend a little bit. I've always been. Just look up towards the sky and take some nice deep inhales and exhales. All right, and on an inhale, reach the arms back up and start kind of extending this front leg. So we're kind of in like a half splits position. And you're just gonna bring your hands kind of towards the foot and keeping that chest open, but kind of going towards our leg here. And if you're kind of starting to feel like a pretty intense stretch, especially in the ankle, I know I sometimes feel it when I'm doing this pose, but just go ahead and lift the toes up, lifting the toes up a little bit too, and get our nice half split stretch. If you wanted to, you could just completely lift the foot up and go towards the toes. But yeah. Whatever's comfortable, play around. All right, and on an inhale, we'll bring it back into that kind of original forward lunge that we had. And go ahead and curl those toes underneath that back leg too, because if you're able to, on the exhale, we're just going to simply push off and meet our feet back together. And of course, if you have to take a couple steps to do that, that's okay. But as long as you meet me right back here at the front of our mats, because again, we'll go through that. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half raise. And exhale, planting those hands back on the sides of your feet, stepping back into our plank. Lower that body down, laying nice on the ground, but don't get too comfortable. And inhale, raise the chest up, back into our up dog. And exhale, back into our up dog, or down dog, excuse me. And get nice and relaxed before we go on over to our other foot. So next I'm gonna either step my foot, my right foot between my hands, or feel free to inhale, raise the leg up, single leg dog, and exhale, step the foot between your hands. And if you need a little bit of an extra help, feel free to grab onto that foot. Bring it to what feels comfortable for you. But go ahead, drop that back leg and inhale, lifting the body up, stacking shoulders on top of our hips. We'll go ahead and play with the hands a little bit, bringing the hands together, bringing that thumb behind the neck and looking up. Inhale, bringing it kind of back up. Hands straight above my head again. I'm going to start prepping myself, curling the back toes behind me. Oh, actually, I kind of forgot we're supposed to be doing the half split. My bad. Sit back, extending that front leg in front of us and reaching out towards that other foot. Feel free to lift the toes up too. I don't know, sometimes when I'm teaching, I get lost in what I'm doing. So my apologies, everyone. But, if we do certain stretches on one side of the body, we got to do the other side. We got to keep that balance. All right, and on an inhale, bring it back into that forward lunge that we had before the half split with our hands above us. On an inhale, start prepping, curling those toes behind us. And exhale, lifting, pushing off, having our feet back together as they meet again. Kind of shake it out here even a little bit too in our mountain pose. Before again, we inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half raise. And exhale, placing those hands back down on the floor. Stepping back into our nice neutral plank position again. And even start just lowering down to the floor, resting the stomach. Inhale, up dog, lifting that chest up, looking towards the sky. And exhale, back into our down dog. And now our next flow will consist of us doing our warrior 2 and going between warrior 2 and the reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. I keep hearing different names for these poses, so if I end up changing what I've been saying, my apologies. But again, I'll be taking my left foot first. Either step it through or inhale, lift up again, single leg dog. Exhale, step the foot through your hands. We'll go ahead and ground that back foot there, so dropping the heel so it's kind of perpendicular with our mat and even our forward foot. Inhale, push off, lifting our body up. Again, shoulders on top of our hips. Hands straight out at our sides here and pretending like, again, maybe a puppeteer has strings on us, pulling us in each direction, but keeping that nice strong core, nice strong legs. And if this And if like the spacing between your legs, you need something closer, or even just a little bit wider, feel free to adjust. But just feel nice and strong here. And on an inhale, we'll reverse it, leaning towards the leg that's fully extended, using it kind of as a guide. You don't want to put your weight on it, but I always have this hand, kind of use it as a guide. And on an inhale, back to our warrior two. On an inhale, we're going to drop to this side. You can either put your elbow kind of with your knee here. Of course, don't put too much weight onto it. And then have your other opposite arm extended up over your head. If you want to get even a little bit of a deeper stretch here, feel free to drop down. Put your hand right next to your foot here. Extend this arm even farther above your head. Really try and keep that chest open, and if you're looking towards me, look towards me. All right, and on an inhale, push up back into our warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. And inhale. I can't even think of what I'm trying to call this one, but like forward warrior two right now. And then feel free, yep, you can be right up here. You can be right down here, a little bit more of a stretch. Inhale, lift it back up into our warrior two. We'll flow through those just one more time here. So an inhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Inhale, bring it forward towards that bent knee. All right, and on an inhale, we'll just bring this hand, not the hand that was above our heads, next to our foot. Kind of square ourselves back off so we're in that lunge position again. Exhale, bring that foot to meet your other foot. Slowly lower back to the ground. On an inhale, raise the chest up into up dog. And exhale, back into our down dog. And now we'll go ahead and reverse. So I'm going to lift either step my right foot forward, or inhale, lift the right leg up into single leg dog. Exhale, step it through my hands. Now I'm just going to quickly turn over so I'm facing all of you in the camera. And I'm in, I ground that foot. Ground your back foot so it's perpendicular with your mat and the front foot. And inhale, push off so we're in our nice warrior two again. Really start grounding yourself. If you need to adjust anything, feel free to adjust. But just feel nice and strong here. And again, pretending that puppeteer is pushing us side to side, but no, we gotta stay strong. Keep that nice, strong core, nice neutral position here. Shoulders away from our ears. All right, and on an inhale, we'll reverse it, leaning it back towards that extended leg, using it as a guide. Putting this hand above our head here. On an inhale, back to warrior two. Shoulders on top of our hips here. And on an inhale, we'll bring it towards that bent leg and either having your elbow onto your knee here, extending that other hand above your head. If you feel like you want a bit more of a stretch again, feel free to drop that hand down to the floor next to your other foot, even extending that arm more above your head. All right, inhale, push it back up into our warrior two. Inhale, reverse it. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Inhale, bring it forward, either your elbow to your knee or hand down to the floor, keeping your hand extended above your head here. All right, inhale, push up, back to warrior two. We'll flow through those just one more time here. So inhale, reverse. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Inhale, bringing it forward, either the elbow to the knee or hand down to the floor, arm extended. All right, and even from here, we're going to start and squaring back off into our first original lunge that we did with our hands both at our sides. I'm going to flip back over to the side that I prefer to do my yoga on. And from here, we're just going to exhale and step that foot back to meet our other, lowering our body down to the floor again. Inhale, push up into up dog. And exhale, reaching it back into down dog. And I think from here, we'll take a quick child's pose before we get into some of our planking here. All right, and on an inhale, we'll meet back in a nice plank position here. Remembering to keep that core tucked in, kind of tuck the bottom down for us ladies sometimes. If you need to, feel free to, yes, go down onto your knees. But again, keeping that nice, strong and straight back. From here, if you can, go on down to your forearms. And we'll just hold it here for a couple seconds. If you have to stay up on your hands, that's completely fine also. Four, three, and two, one. If you're in the forearm, lift on, back up to your hands. If you're on your hands already, just feel free to go up into our down dog. Kind of rest it a little bit. We'll be doing some side planking here really quick. And if at any moment you need to take a break, feel free to take a break, go down to child's pose, whatever it's kind of comfortable for you, but feel free to join us again. And so with this next one, we'll be doing side planks. So you can either go on over. I'm going on to my left side first. Feel free to go on over to that left side, keeping that nice strong lined body we have going on here. But if you are feeling a little bit more crazy, like I am sometimes, I like to lift up my left knee towards my chest here. And then I switch it on over to my side planking here. Either have this hand on your hip, up over your head, whatever's comfortable right now. 3, 2, and 1. All right, feel free to drop it down back into our nice plank position. Feel free to shake out that one hand, but then we'll go on and do the other side. So either go on over to your side or lift that right knee up towards your chest and then go on to your side. I know sometimes for side planks too, it's easy to have a wall maybe at your feet. Because I know for me, my feet like to kind of slide around sometimes. So if you need a wall, I don't know why I didn't mention that before, but using a wall is very beneficial too to help with that. 3, 2, and 1. Feel free to bring it back to our neutral plank here. Drop those knees for a sec and send it back into child's pose here. Whew. All right, on an inhale, lift it back up into our neutral table position here. And from here, we're just gonna curl the toes, lift back up into down dog, but nicely walk our feet towards the front of the mat. And I would say for right here to grab your props, if needed for balancing. I will even kind of prompt when to put them a little closer, but just have them nice and on hand for right now. Because we're gonna go through I've been calling it our swan dive flow, where reach to the sky, swan dive down. We're gonna go through that one time, and then we're gonna start warming up with a chair pose. So feel free to meet me right here in our nice mountain pose, nice strong at the front of our mats. We're gonna inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half raise. And exhale, back into forward fold. Inhale again, reach up towards the sky. But this time on our exhale, we're gonna just kind of sit back like we're sitting in a chair. You're gonna kind of feel it being heavy in the heels a little bit, and that's okay. Feel free to just kind of get down into a squat, into what's comfortable. If you're even up here today, totally fine. Up here, that's fine. You just want to keep that back kind of nice and straight. Keep that chest open. Kind of look up, or kind of like look at a nice medium level, looking up. Just start kind of getting those quads ready. Inhale, we'll stand it back up. Exhale, back down into our chair pose. I'll give like a front view here for a sec too even. Take some nice deep breaths here. And then on an exhale, we're gonna take our right foots and just step it back. It took you a couple steps, that's fine. Just get into a nice, comfortable, it's actually called crescent lunge pose. And I would even say from here, kind of readjust your props to make sure they're nice and at your side. I like to put my yoga blocks kind of on the outsides of my my feet, if I was to have like a chair or something, I'd have it like next to me, you know. I think from here even, we'll take a nice simple twist first. So if you want to bring your hands together at your heart, bring that body even a little bit forward and kind of bring your right elbow to your left knee, giving yourself that nice twist here. If you need your balance prop here even too a little bit, feel free to reach out and use that a little bit. Get a nice twist in. All right, on an inhale, kind of lift it back up into our crescent lunge. As you can say, just kind of straighten that front leg out a little bit, because from right here, feel free to kind of drop down or kind of bring your body forward again a little bit, but we're just going to simply push off, lifting that back leg up into our warrior three. And so like I like my yoga blocks or even something right next to me to use for balance, just for kind of playing around even with this too. And so I'll even start by lifting one hand up. So right now I have my left hand up. Go ahead and bring the right one with, or if you can drop the left one, have the right one up. All right, inhale or exhale, feel free to drop that down. Whew, kind of shake that out even a little bit. But I said I was going to give you guys strength today. I'm even kind of testing myself, but on an inhale, bringing back up into our crescent lunge position. And exhale, pushing off, bringing the feet together, kind of shaking it out a little bit. Whew. My props over a little bit, but again, we'll inhale now, reach towards the sky, because we got to do that other leg. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half raise. Exhale, back into forward fold. Inhale, reach to the sky. And again, prep yourself for our chair pose. Exhale, sitting it down into our chair pose. Inhale, step that left foot back. Grounding ourselves, getting ready in that crescent lunge. On an inhale, you can bring your hands down towards your heart, and start bringing that left elbow to the right knee here. Getting a nice little twist in. All right, on an inhale, pushing it back up into that crescent lunge. I'd also get your props ready, because I think you all know what's coming. All right, on an inhale, start bringing that body forward, utilizing those props, but exhaling, pushing off, and play around with the warrior three. And if you fall, you know what, that's okay, because guess what? You're human. We all fall down. It's getting back up that can sometimes be the challenge. But if you do it, it's very rewarding. All right. On an inhale, feel free to drop it back down. Kind of shake it out a little bit. But inhale, bring it back up to our crescent lunge. And exhale, pushing off. Bringing our feet back together. Whew. Yeah, definitely got to shake that leg out too. But I'm going to move my props over now so they're out of my way. And again, inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhale, half raise. Exhale, forward. And inhale, reach back up towards the sky. And exhale, we're just gonna bring our hands kind of straight down towards the side of us. So we're kind of like in like a goalpost position, I almost call it. But really try to squeeze those back shoulder blades together too. So this is technically called cactus pose. But kind of squeezing those arms, keeping those shoulders away from our ears even. Looking up towards the sky, keeping that chest nice and open. Feel free to even do some little circles backwards. If you're doing some circles, then you got to do them forward. On an exhale, feel free to just drop your hands down into our mountain pose. We'll take a nice deep inhale here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from here, to be honest, we're just gonna sit on down. Sit on down and get our seated portion of the practice in. So we're just gonna sit with our legs kind of straight out in front of us, and then kind of focus on, like, yes, keeping that nice and straight posture. I sometimes like to kind of put my hands by my bottom here. Try to just push that chest open. Having good posture is just so important for our bodies. I don't know too, but I feel like if I'm walking like with good posture, good confidence, I just feel more confident about myself even too, and my presence. And feel free on an inhale to start walking your hands even towards your toes. All right, on an inhale, sit it back up again. I'm going to take my right foot first, kind of bend it a little bit. You can either leave it right here or you can cross it over your left leg, but then we're going to take our left hand and hug our right knee, getting another nice little twist in there. All right, on an inhale, bring it back to center, taking that left leg now, bending it, either leaving it or crossing it over our right foot. Taking the right hand and hugging that left knee, getting a twist in on the other side. All right, on an inhale, bring it back to center. And adjust a little bit. And just lay down onto my back here, bringing my knees then into my chest. And in this position, like, feel free to play around with it too, swaying like side to side. I really like doing that one, getting a nice back massage in there. Kind of going front to back a little bit. Feel free to even like circle out the ankles here. Extend the legs out even a little bit. Even circle the hips here too. Just getting some nice circles, making circles with your knees, I guess you could say. And then just always never forget to give yourself a nice big hug. You worked hard today. All right, and on an inhale, I'm going to extend out my right leg, crossing the left over my body, looking over towards my left shoulder, hand extended out. This is another good place to place a prop. I know I don't get my knee all the way to the floor yet, but another good place if you need a little extra support here. All right, on an inhale, bring it back up to center, grabbing onto your right knee again. And now we're going to extend out that left leg, crossing the right leg over. If you're hearing those cracks, those are my back. But anyways, looking out over towards your right shoulder. All right, on an inhale, back to center and bringing that left knee back in to meet your right. And we're going to do our happy baby pose because I just really like that one. So I'm going to have my knees point out towards my sides. Go in to grab the bottoms of my feet and to just play around with even just kind of pushing my knees to point towards my sides a little bit more. Play around with even extending out your legs here. Maybe extend one leg out versus the other one. Find a nice equal position with them. Just whatever's comfortable with you right now. Feel free to even rock back and forth on your back a little bit, either side to side. Do the front and back. Just whatever feels good and comfortable for your body today. All right, on an inhale, feel free to let go and just extend your legs out. In front of you, I'm going to adjust myself, so I'm laying on my mat here. But just get into a nice, comfortable laying position because now we'll get into our Shavasana or corpse pose. We'll take a nice deep inhale together. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get into a breathing that's comfortable for you and just start clearing your mind and really focusing on the breath or focusing on the sounds that are around you. And letting go of any tension that you may be holding on, whether that be in your shoulders or wherever else you keep it. All right, start slowly waking up your body, wiggling your toes, your fingers, circling your wrists. Get a nice big stretch in there. Whenever you're ready, feel free to meet me in a comfortable seated, standing, whatever position for you. But I just like to say thank you guys so much for joining me today. And that one was kind of a different one that I kind of threw together with inspiration from other videos I like to watch. And, you know, it's just fun. We just have fun together. But anyways, I think we still have a workout tomorrow at 10 a.m. Surprise workout. I don't know if Jenna's doing it or not, or all around surprise, but that's the only other announcement that I have. Thank you ladies so much for joining me, and namaste. Thank you.